folks, welcome to another edition of the SourceFed podcast here on SourceFed and as well on iTunes and SoundCloud. I am Matt Lieberman. Before we get started and I introduce today's panelists, I just want to thank Squarespace for sponsoring this episode. Squarespace, build it beautiful. Guys, Squarespace has been sponsoring your favorite YouTube channels and your favorite podcasts for the longest time. They're an incredible company, and they are the easiest way to create a beautiful website, online store, or blog for you and all your amazing ideas. Squarespace offers an elegant interface. It has crazy, amazing features, beautiful templates, and 24/7 support. What more could you possibly ask for? So, go to squarespace.com/SF, enter the offer code SF for 10% off your brand new website or online store. Do it, and do it now. Folks, we got a great panel here today. Mike Falzone is here.
Oh, yes.
Hi. Can I ask a question before we start? Does it smell like meatballs to you in here?
Like
Meatballs 2 or first one?
The first one.
No, meatballs, the new batch. Yeah.
So bad.
No,
I'm just saying, either
I
I'm
don't
about to
smell
have a stroke
meatballs.
or it smells like meatballs.
You
in
might
here.
be stroking.
Are you
Nothing?
okay? Check your pulse. I don't know what's going on.
We talking
way.
Swedish or Italian?
Italian meatballs.
Italian. Now, are they roasted in the oven or
I don't,
or are
hey,
they...
I don't know. I just asked the question.
Okay,
I
fair
was just
enough.
looking for a simple answer.
Okay,
just
no.
a real
No,
answer.
it
The
does not
answer's
smell like
no
meatballs.
from every one of us.
Steve Zaragoza is here.
Hey.
Bree Essrig is here.
Hi.
And we're gonna chat about whatever we want for the next hour.
Great.
Can I say something? I want to start off really quick to say, first of all, Mike Falzone, it is such a pleasure to be with you on some form of recording.
I don't even care if that's genuine or not. I'll take it.
No, it's
the
genuine.
truth.
Oh, well, great.
You're a
Also, that
beacon
to
of
you
light.
guys.
You are,
The
Mike,
same.
and it's always a pleasure when you're in the office, and this is my first podcast with you,
Okay.
which I'm very excited about. And I wanted to talk a little bit about something we were talking about before the show started.
Oh,
which was-
God.
no, not that. Bree, don't worry about it. I want to talk about how you and I were on an adventure together in Orlando
This is all true so far.
a while back.
Yes.
Yeah, we went to Playlist in Orlando, and we got to join some other people by going to the Universal Studios in Florida there.
Yeah.
And everyone was really excited because of what? What was the one thing everyone wanted to see at Universal Studios in Orlando?
You're going to have to jog the
Would-
memory. My memory.
Well, I'm not good at jogging, so here I'll just tell you.
Here we go.
It's the Harry Potter world.
That's
Everyone
the
was
one.
That's
very
what I was
excited
thinking it
about
would
the Harry
be.
Potter
You're
world.
100% right.
You went?
So, well, let me...
Did you enjoy?
This
Let
is,
me-
it's all part of it.
It's
I'm
all part of the
sorry.
experience.
I'm sorry.
We're all going on this journey together
It's
now.
just a Leo
Alright.
story.
It's a Lee story.
A Leo story?
It's so
trying to sneak it.
Mike and I were there with some other friends. I believe there were some good other friends there with us that were very excited.
There were some bad other friends.
There were some bad other friends and good other friends. There were some other YouTuber pals that were there with us.
Oh my God, you said that 5 times. Get to the meatballs
about
There's,
of
it's
this
important
story.
to know that
Thank
there were
you,
other
Bree.
people there
It's
as
important
well.
to know. This is part of the story.
This is not name
not
one
important.
fact. One fact that you've listed.
We
so
went to
far.
Universal Studios,
There
and
were
there were
several other
YouTuber
people there.
friends with
YouTuber
us.
friends, and you wanted to go see Harry Potter. What happened?
No. I never said that.
You're missing the point of
You're
the
missing
story.
the point of the
What is
story.
the point of
well,
the
the point of the
story?
story is, well, first of all, the point of most stories is to fucking listen.
We haven't even really started the story yet.
So hang on. Before you guys lose your shit, everyone else was excited about Harry Potter World.
Yeah.
Everyone else.
Stories coming together
everyone's
now.
freaking the fuck out. Harry Potter Land and the train that goes to Hogtown.
Let's walk through the walls, probably.
Let's go through a
Part of
dang
it.
wall and
What
see
is
some wizards.
wrong with you guys?
So here's what. So my thing is I've said this before. I have not seen the Harry Potter movies. I've seen 2 of the Harry Potter movies.
Same.
I have not read any of the books.
So we're in the same boat.
So Mike and
I
I are
see.
like, I'm prepared to go to the Harry Potter world,
Right.
and I'm prepared to have a great time with everybody else. Mike didn't talk to anybody about what his plan was.
Yeah.
And so when we all got into the park, we're all going hand in hand. People are even starting to tear up how excited they are to go to the Harry Potter part. We're all heading that way, big fun group. All of a sudden I see Mike starting to like leave the crowd.
Yeah.
And he starts going off on his own. And I look over at my big group of friends that are all excited to go to Harry Potter World, and I was prepared to go and enjoy Harry Potter World. But then I see
Because you're a team player.
I'm a team player, and I see Mike not even. I mean, this was the definition of an Irish goodbye, if that's
Oh,
racist.
I love it. That's
it
not
was
racist.
like boom, just takes off in
Yeah.
not the direction of Harry Potter World,
The opposite.
In
God
what
bless you,
the
sir.
opposite
Away.
direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I see Mike, and I'm like, well, I can't let Mike go off on his own, and I like Mike.
For the record, I would have been fine.
Right.
I'm sure you would
if
have.
you weren't fine, you would have asked someone to come with you.
Yeah, I
You're a
would've been
grown
crying.
man. You're not a Leo.
Yeah.
No, he's not a Lee boy.
Not you, boy.
So I went over to Mike and I said, "Hey man, where are you going?" And you were like, "I'm not into that Harry Potter crap." And I was
I don't
like,
know if I said crap, but I probably felt it.
"Well, anyway, I'm sorry if I'm throwing you under the bus
Hey,
about your
that's
thoughts
okay.
on Harry Potter, but this is what happened." So I said, "You know what? Plenty of people are going to Harry Potter World right now. I would like to go and see it, but I'd rather spend time with my good friend Mike Falzone."
Which was very nice of you to say.
And so we went off on our own and had our own grand adventures. We
Yeah.
went to the Simpsons part of the park. and
So
we had a
all
great
that
time.
The Simpsons had to offer,
Every Simpson.
we drank Flaming Moe's together.
We had Flaming Moe's. No, wait a
$15
minute.
Flaming
I didn't
Moe's?
have a Flaming Moe because at the time I could not
You were on a
drink a
diet.
Flaming Moe. I was
I
on a
had
diet.
one for you in my mouth.
Yeah, you did, and I got to keep the cup, and we went to the Duff Gardens.
Wait, so
Yeah.
but you don't drink? You would have had one anyway. There
well,
wasn't.
they're not alcohol.
They're
They're
non-alcoholic.
non-alcoholic.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a creamsicle kind
Oh.
of.
with flames on it. Still,
Which is essentially butterbeer. So you had what you would have been missing out on in Harry Potter World anyway. So
Right,
it
but
didn't
we
matter.
did- but we
Now
didn't
I
get to
feel like
go-
I've missed nothing.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was honestly the best part of Harry
So
Potter.
anyway, Falzone and I have a great night at Universal together. We went and like climbed over the ropes of the DeLorean
We touched the
car. And we touched
DeLorean?
the DeLorean car. We were breaking all sorts of rules,
all sorts of no-nos.
all sorts of no-nos. And then we had a blast. We would meet up with other people or whatever. And then at the end of the night, we just go back to our hotel, whatever, done.
Yeah.
The next day, everyone's like, "Where were you guys? We went to Harry Potter World." And they're
I
showing
feel
us
like
videos.
you're leaving out a huge part of the
What
story.
was the huge part of the story?
The Despicable Me part.
Oh, that's
we
right.
were
I
looking.
forgot. I forgot.
That's honestly, if I could speak to everyone here
You
for
can
a second,
speak to everyone.
That's the whole thing. That's what I thought he was telling. Is
Well,
when we
okay,
went
so-
to the
so-
Despicable Me.
So that's how this started earlier, but I thought the story of us like saying fuck the system and not going to the Harry Potter World with everybody else was
Yeah.
the meat and potatoes of the story.
Oh, sure.
Well, as the
Different
audience
dinners.
of that story, can we just quickly interject and say
Sure,
that it
it's
was
not over yet though.
It was more of a salad. I'm not sure if I like the salad.
This is just an appetizer.
I would like more. I would
This
like an
is
entree.
this is the type of salad that's just arugula and nothing else.
Ugh,
just
arugula's
leave
gross.
So
it
we're
now.
like,
Is arugula the real sharp?
I asked for salad, but I just got arugula,
Sharp how?
which are the leaves that are shaped like snowflakes.
Are those
Sure.
also
paper
shaped like-
snowflakes?
Are
Yeah.
those also the ones that taste like real sour, or like they have a nasty
they're
They're a
like
little
they're
sharp.
bitter, they're more bitter.
I don't like arugula.
Yeah.
So we got to.
Can we hold the
we gotta
I
arugula
think
spice
that
the
was
story
I
up.
think that was the point of what we're trying
gotta
to
throw
say.
some grilled
They're
chicken
the
on the
little
story.
long leaves.
Let's throw some grilled chicken on the story.
All right.
So we're walking around.
Please,
We're looking for
please.
different rides to go into. We go into the line for the earthquake ride. I don't know what it's called.
Closed.
I'm going to call it the earthquake ride.
Closed.
Very closed. We went to Transformers because it was illuminated. Closed.
Ooh.
Speaking of shedding a tear, a lot of people did that into the Harry Potter world. We did that when we realized that Beetlejuice and
The
the rest of the
Beetlejuice.
ghouls were not going to come out and dance. They were not there.
Well, we went
Night
to the
off.
Beetlejuice show. Closed.
Yeah, stood outside the gate for
when
the
did you
closed
go
Beetlejuice
down
show.
there? All this stuff is closed.
Is it your story or is it me and Steve's story?
Michael?
This was
Michael,
Row your boat
Elena
ashore for a moment.
Falzone.
How'd you know
I
my
was
middle name?
asking a very valid question.
was a
It was
valid
nighttime.
You see, this
It was
is why I
That's,
hate,
and
I hate
that's the
Florida.
explanation. You
I
could have
know, I
just
know.
done that instead of leaping down my throat.
I'm sorry.
I know it's comfy in there.
It was nighttime.
Yeah,
I
it is. It's
feel
nice and moist.
comfortable
Yeah.
there.
You know what the salad needs? Some walnuts.
A different
Continue.
story.
Okay, we added the grilled chicken. Let's add some walnuts in
Can
there.
we just dump out this salad and
So
go
the
get
only-
burgers?
No, that's a waste of food.
Plus, they won't let us
Alright.
in line for the trucks.
Okay.
So
We couldn't get on trucks.
here's what happens. Two grown men.
You
You're
guys
just
know you-
giving us things with no context.
Universal's
men.
trucks was closed.
Okay.
Okay.
So
No trucks.
continue.
We're looking for rides to go on
So you go
as
to
grown
Minion
men.
Mayhem.
And we
There's
could not
two
ride
rides
trucks.
open. There is a roller coaster that we were not prepared to go on because of all the things
We
in
don't
our
like
stomach.
tummy problems on coasters.
I like tummy problems, don't like throwing up in public, turns out. So I didn't want to do that.
Also, the other one that was open was trucks. Oh no, that one was closed.
No, you couldn't get on
Trucks even a ride?
No.
It's just in the
You
parking
know,
lot. We couldn't get
Universal's famous movie Truck.
we couldn't get into any of the trucks
Starring
in the
Tom
parking
Hanks.
Yeah, Tom Hanks as
And-
Dave Trucks.
And yeah.
lot.
Okay.
Thomas Trucks.
Sorry, go ahead.
Dave
Thomas the
Trucks.
Truck Engine.
So what ride did we stumble upon? Here's
So
a
the
segue.
Despicable Me, for whatever reason, happens to be open.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, we go in there. Neither of us have seen the Despicable
Never
Me.
seen it.
Really?
Okay,
Never
so this
seen
is
it.
kind of just like the Harry Potter thing, only a little bit worse.
It is worse because
Harry Potter's a world. Despicable Me is just a room.
one room.
Yeah. I'm hearing the payoff to the story. I'm hearing the last
so
line of the
bad.
story. And
I
I'm
know
like, this
it's-
isn't worth
Mike,
it.
it's so bad.
So
we promised.
We
this
go
story would
into
be
the
so good.
Despicable Me thing, and we start going around the line, and they start showing you the video that they show everybody to get
I like
psyched
that
up for the
you've
ride.
got-
Only it's real sad because we're the only people in line. We're just two grown men, and here we see each other on the big screens and the little Despicable Me things. We're like, I can't wait to show you what we have in store for you. And a lot of that, and people are trying to make us dance and smile.
No, that was after.
and we're.
Whatever. Oh my God! Continue.
Have a
So
little
we
of your
get
whiskey
into the
really quick.
ride, which is, it's kind of like a IMAX theater
Yeah.
type of a thing,
Right.
right? So we're seeing and we're like, what's the kitschy part of this ride? Like, what's gonna get us? What's gonna pop out? Just being kind of skeptical, grown ass men.
Yeah, we
kind of.
walk in there and we're like, we're adults. We haven't seen this ride. This is clearly a children's ride. We got into
How
the
are
little-
they going to make this fun?
Right, we got into the so we step into the car.
And this, I've been quoting, this is kind of the point. I've been quoting this one line that Steve said in his very skeptical grown man voice for the past 4 months. And now everyone's in on the inside joke together. Does that make it a story that's
What
worth
is it?
telling?
We're letting everyone in on this
So
one inside joke.
Steve's looking around and he's looking at the employees who, have stayed after hours. They're all
God,
dressed
this
in their
better be good.
they're all dressed in their garb, and we put our 3D glasses on. And if you can imagine, just imagine the excitement as a child sitting in the seat. You're inside of your favorite movie as
Yeah.
a child. And
Trucks.
now take all of the excitement away, take all the audience away, and just interject two bearded, kind of shitty grown men. And Steve's looking around and he has his glasses on. He sees this little spigot with dried up neon green foam around the spigot. And he looks right at one of the employees and he looks at me and he looks at the spigot and he goes, "What was this? Was this slime?" I'm going to do it to camera so you get, you're my eyes right now
pretty
and I'm
funny.
Steve. There's music playing.
Yeah,
There's
it's
like
real
just
cheerful and
everybody's
happy.
Was it slime?
And Mike was tickled.
Tickled pink.
And
For
then
months,
and so he was
apparently.
laughing, and so I couldn't help but laugh. And of course, the slime was never a part of the ride. It's just some like weird design element to the cars we were
in
riding
my
in.
mind, they shut it off as soon as you
'cause
said
they're
it.
like,
oh,
"Uh-oh."
the bearded guy, he doesn't.
They
He
don't
found
like
the
it.
slime.
Not
so
going to find it fun.
turn
It's
off.
not gonna be a
Edgar,
surprise.
turn off the slime. It's not for tonight.
I know. He just doesn't look like he wants slime tonight.
No. And then you danced with a
And I danced with a minion
yeah.
in the pale moonlight.
Would you say that you had a terrible time?
No,
Would
I
you
had a
say
great
that
time.
you had a terrible slime?
no, I think I had a great time. Mike and I had a great time, and that was the point. That was my point of the
We
story.
got an inside joke
Was
out
that
of it.
You'd think, and I'm sure there's so many people listening to this right now thinking, what the fuck
That's
is this
probably
terrible
mine,
story?
right?
I took it for you. There's a lot of people probably thinking, how can you not want to go to Harry Potter World when you go to Universal Studios Florida?
Because you don't care.
Because it's not that we don't care.
I haven't seen it or read it or
It's not that we don't
cared.
care. I was willing to go check it out, but I didn't want to leave my buddy Mike Falzone.
I didn't care, but not in like a what judgmental type of a way. I just didn't care because I know nothing about it.
It was just
Right.
like, I don't want to do things that my friends really want to do because I don't care about the people that I'm with or the things
Mostly-
that they're doing.
I think
those
it's
were his
mostly that.
thoughts. Those were
You
his.
don't
I
care
think
about
it's
the
mostly
people
that.
that you were
Cool.
with?
I don't care about really anyone but myself, I think
Right,
is what
okay.
we're getting
We're
at.
That's
making
what I
some
took
really
from
real
that.
progress.
But can
No,
I
you know
say-
what? Truthfully, I got in there and I know nothing about Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I know nothing about Despicable Me, but I did see that Krusty Land was a real
was
place,
great.
and I had no idea that that was real. And
Yeah.
then my entire childhood came back, and I kind of ran over there while everyone wanted to do other things first,
So
and
you
that's
got
fine.
to you got to find the thing that you cared about.
I'm not going to be the guy in the group of the Harry Potter kids going, I can't wait until we go to the Simpsons place. Remember that show that was super popular in the early 90s?
Right.
And these movies that came out kind of recently that you're all really into right now?
But also, if you had gone to Harry Potter, you'd be dealing with all these people who were crazy about it, and then it's not just that you're experiencing this thing that you don't care about.
Right.
You're now like the weird person who's not excited.
Yeah, why
I be
aren't
honest?
you this
Feel
excited?
that-
But
left
let
out.
me interject here because I think, and this was my thought from the very beginning, I think that if Mike had gone in, he would have had a good time regardless
have a
of
good time
knowing what the
wherever.
Harry Potter movies are all about.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I
seeing that
agree.
environment with no context, you would have found it so funny.
Well, here's what I will say.
That's true.
Here's what I will say about that. The next day, one of our good friends, Ava, was showing us footage of her in the park and experiencing things. She was crying tears of joy because there were so many magical things happening, and I felt sad that we didn't go after watching that video.
Yeah.
I always used to feel sad going to theme parks, and I don't know if Bree, you were ever afraid of roller coasters. Steve, you were or are afraid of roller coasters.
Was.
Yeah,
That's all of them.
right. So I don't know. Do you guys have any like good early memories of going to theme parks? I feel like until I got over
Yeah.
my fear of roller coasters, when I came out here, I didn't know how to have fun at theme parks.
How'd you get over it?
Peer pressure.
Yeah, same.
I got peer pressured into going into the stupidest, smallest, oldest roller coaster at Six Flags Magic
Trucks?
Mountain, and it was Trucks, exactly. It was based on the 1968 Universal film Trucks.
Get in the
Um,
truck.
It was that wooden roller coaster, right?
Yeah, it's called it's called the Gold Rusher. It's called the Gold Rusher.
Gold Rusher.
And it's so boring and simple that I was like, oh, that's like less than nothing. Screw it, I can do one. So then I got pushed into doing the Terminator Salvation one, which is a wooden coaster that goes like 75 miles an hour.
Wow.
And they have
no.
the coaster like zoom through the place where you actually get on the coaster, so you see how fast it goes. And I
Yeah.
got more and more scared. And the guy I used to live with, he was just a big, strong dude. And I remember him literally clasping me by the arm and keeping me in place. And
I got you.
he's yeah,
You
he-
were a
I got you.
prisoner.
Also, I love you a little bit.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, it's fine. You're gonna be fine. And I'm like, it's not fine. It's clearly not fine. It was fine, and it
Say
was
it in
great.
a more
So he
comforting
was
voice.
abusing you.
Kind of, yeah, but it worked out. I learned something positive from it, which is that there's nothing worth wasting 18, 20 years of your life being afraid of.
That's true.
There's
Can
nothing
you
that
go on
scary.
everything now?
Yeah, I can go on everything. I don't like going on everything, but I will be able to try anything. I'm not crazy about just straight drops. That's not my deal.
So that's my thing. I hate drops, and as an adult now, I'm more inclined to try than ever before. But
Loops are a blast.
I don't want to do loops.
Yeah.
But I'm also being very close-minded by saying that. But I
Yeah.
will say this: I love
You
the
don't
Matterhorn.
want to?
I mean, I maybe someday I'll try.
Matterhorn
I'm
is super.
not writing it off.
Matterhorn is super fun, and that's a great example of like it's just a great environment and a great ride.
Yeah, and that's the thing I like about Disneyland, and why I kind of like get upset about Magic Mountain is because like Disneyland has the thrills and the theming down
Yeah.
perfectly. So like a ride like the Matterhorn is like not only is it a fun roller coaster, there's also really cool stuff to see,
Yeah.
and it's themed very well. But when you go on a roller coaster or at like Six Flags or something, you're literally out in like this big parking lot essentially, and you can see. I mean, it's not much theming.
Right. They're
more of a
just
fan of
they're
the
just
immersion.
rides. Like
Yeah.
I remember like a few years ago when I was still with my ex, we would watch they put all these like short promotional documentaries about how Disney parks run and how
Those
the
are
rides
cool.
got made up with.
I like
and
those.
every single ride they come at it from a story perspective first. Every ride that they come up with has a story, and that's awesome. Like
Yeah,
there's
I
this
like
like
That's cute and
Yeah.
all, but it's so expensive.
True.
I
It's
mean,
not cheap.
Magic Mountain's so cheap, and you get all the thrills.
It's true.
yeah, season
get all
pass
the
for
loops and
60
drops.
bucks.
Without any of the
And the-
BS.
You don't have to deal with the Stroller Kingdom or whatever it's called. No screaming babies because
true.
no babies allowed on these rides.
Oh, you better
this
believe
is
they
for
bring
big
babies.
walls.
They do bring babies.
They do bring babies.
They bring babies, but not
They
as many
bring babies.
Not as many babies.
You have to be a certain height to ride these bad.
Well, same
walls.
at Disneyland too. Disneyland has stuff for everybody, but then they've got the ones where you can't be too tall, or you gotta be tall enough to ride like the Star Tours, and
Yeah.
the Matterhorn bobsleds.
Going back to what
Plans.
you said a couple seconds ago, I like anything better when I know the stories behind it.
Yeah.
I've only recently kind of gotten into sneakers because I've been watching a lot
The
of
1993 movie with Robert Redford.
Sneakers.
and-
Yes.
Yeah,
and that's because there's a great story behind
it's
it.
a great movie.
No, I mean sneakers in general. I've been watching like all these YouTube videos that like have the design process and like you might just think a shoe is ugly, but there's a designer, like there's a reason for everything. Like a lot of Nike stuff
like
or
that.
whatever. It just makes everything. It makes songs better. It makes whatever better when
Yeah,
you
when
know.
there's a little more
Yeah.
thought put into something.
I just and I think about it all the time when there's like a reason, especially when you're making stuff. If there's a reason for everything you do, a reason that might not be apparent the first time you watch it, but then like you know everything behind it, like Easter eggs and all that stuff that's like little that you could brush over in a second. Just Lee boys.
Yeah.
And that you could brush over, and then somebody tells you about it, and then you watch whatever like 85 times to pick out all the things, and next thing you know, you're like telling friends about it.
Totally. Like the whole
Love it.
reason that I do what I do, the reason why I went to film school in the first place is because of the 8-hour documentaries on the Lord of the Rings extended editions. I would mainline those. I would watch them every night before I went to sleep. And just the fact that so many
When
people...
did you go to sleep every day?
I
Do you
was-
start going to sleep at like 1?
Well,
in the
no, I wouldn't
afternoon?
watch the whole thing. I'd pick it up
Let
where
me
I
get
left
started
off,
on
and I'd
this
watch like
sleep
another
real quick.
35 minutes to
Right,
an hour or
right.
whatever. But yeah, it would take a while, but I just cycle through them because like the fact that so much went into the design and the story and the graphics and how they figured out how they were going to cast Gollum and then all the different designs of Gollum and how long that took to figure out the mocap, and it's just like that so much work goes into it was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That stuff's super fascinating. I'm into that stuff as well.
I'm into just behind the scenes stuff in general, mostly commentary on DVDs.
What's your
great.
favorite
Director
commentary?
actor commentary. I love hearing all the stories from set. That's actually one of my biggest dreams is to do a commentary
That's
for a DVD
cool.
that I'm in. That's like my dream.
Can I tell you something? This might be super nerdy, but I way back when, in my younger days, I used to love to have these parties where I would bring my funniest friends over, and we would get a movie that was like super old and obscure. Like we found all these like old sexploitation movies from the 70s that aren't like porn, but they're essentially just like rub off movies that are just like these old, like you know what
Hold
I'm
on.
talking
What are rub movies?
about. Like rub
It's
off
just
movies.
like it's the movie where the guys in the audience never take their dicks out, but they just kind
They
of
rub their
subtly
pants.
rub it.
There you go.
Oh.
You can rub it. So these movies are from like the 60s and 70s. And so what I did was
You mean like that in that episode of Freaks and Geeks where they go to watch
There
a
you
dirty
go.
movie, but it's really one of those movies. And they're
Exactly.
like, what is this?
This is just a rub
Exactly.
movie.
Yeah.
right,
This is
right, where
rub
girls
off.
are just playing with volleyballs or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we found we found some movies like that. And so I gathered my funniest friends around and we set up these microphones and had this crude recording set up. And what I would do is I would assign everyone in the room a role from the movie.
That's awesome.
And then
So
we
you
would
do dubs.
create fake audio commentary for the movie. And so I'd be like, "Hey, I'm the director or I'm the
Oh.
producer of this movie and we've all never seen the movie before." So the whole time we're just like we're forgetting what our names were in the beginning and we're just talking about like, "What were you thinking during this scene?"
Yeah.
And then we would come up with these like funny ridiculous things.
But you realize that's a really great idea. You should try to do that again as a podcast with movies that people actually would watch.
That's not a bad
That's a
idea.
really good idea.
Interactive.
Yeah, you know, it's different from like an MST3K kind of deal
It
because
has the
instead of
same-
making fun of it, you are pretending that you all are the people who made the film.
Right. And sometimes you would end up making fun of it without really like being so direct about it and
Yeah.
saying like, well, we had literally the biggest budget possible for this scene. And it's like the cheesiest looking scene.
Yeah, and it's just like, isn't it great that all the money wound up on screen?
Yeah.
Wow, what a lush look.
You
Yeah.
had like C strings.
And then
Yeah.
we would be like, oh, this guy. Do you guys remember this guy? What was his name? Dame. Dame used to fart on the set all day. And in this
Dame
scene,
Jingles.
this
Dame
scene, he
Jingles.
farted 3 times. And let's see if you guys can figure out which moments those were.
Yeah.
Oh, there he goes.
There-
One from Dame.
Yeah, we had to do room tone for hours just to cover up Dame's farts.
This scene
amazing.
actually was originally the centerpiece of the movie where we explained the entire plot, but that had to be cut for time.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Turns out it wasn't that good of a story.
Yeah.
So, Bree, what is your favorite commentary track?
Oh man, I've seen so many, but the first thing that pops into my head, which is so embarrassing,
Uh-oh.
it's
Bridges of Madison County.
Herbie Fully
Yes.
Loaded?
yeah, it's that one with Lindsay Lohan.
Uh-huh.
No, it's actually from the movie 13.
Oh, really? With
Yeah.
Catherine Hardwicke?
Catherine Hardwicke, because okay, let's be real. I had a huge crush on Evan Rachel Wood, and
Sure,
I
who
still
didn't?
do.
She's
Is that
She's
the one where they're
my
like
ultimate.
bad girls and then like their
Where she's a
life
good
is just a
girl and then-
spiral down
yeah.
to hell? Got it.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it's one of those. I mean, just to find out how many things you can get away with no budget, because that movie really had no budget. But there are so many hidden things in the movie, and that's like one of my favorite things about commentaries is just finding all the little Easter eggs too.
Love
But
it.
they had such great stories from the set, and it just seemed like anyone can make a movie. That movie made me feel like anyone could make a movie.
Yeah, it's frustrating when you watch a movie like that and you go like, damn it, why am I not making movies?
Yeah, that's what it was about that.
Yeah.
That made me just like,
frustrating.
I want to be a filmmaker, and
Yeah.
also I want to have sex with Evan Rachel Wood. So.
I get it.
Both good frustrations.
I
I
think
Yeah.
Sure.
should we
Both
all go
healthy.
around and say what our favorite audio commentaries are?
Yeah.
don't know
man.
that I have one.
Do you have one, Leaves?
Favorite audio commentary?
Director's commentary?
Honestly, it's not for a movie. It's the commentary tracks on the Futurama DVDs.
Oh, I love it.
because they'll get like a couple of the voice actors, they'll get like 3 of the writers, and maybe the director of the episode, and it's always funny and informative. And then they'll do the voices and they'll riff, and
Yeah.
it's just like it's a blast.
On that same token, if you guys ever got a chance or get a chance to go to Comic-Con and go to like a Cartoon Voices panel, which they have every year in some
always wanted to
capacity.
see that.
Oh man, when they used to do the Futurama panels, they would read a script live on stage in all of the Futurama voices, and
so
it was the
cool.
best thing ever.
So cool.
They still do them though. You should check those out.
You know why I don't think I'm big into commentaries? I remember one of my favorite movies ever, one of the first movies I got on DVD was PCU with Jeremy Piven. And I listened to there were like no special features. There were no like whatever, extra scenes or whatever. But they had Jeremy Piven and somebody else do the commentary. And his whole time, he's like kind of bummed out because he was like, yeah, I remember shooting this. And the director like wouldn't let us improv at all. Like we had no freedom.
How did
And I probably stopped watching it halfway through. I was like, oh, Jeremy Piven's real sad
He's
about
so
this.
negative. How
Yeah.
did they let that go on?
I know. They must not have
DVD?
listened.
Oh, I don't
to
know.
it.
Yeah, probably not.
It had like one special feature, and this was it.
That was
so
it.
they're like, it's either this or nothing.
Do you ever watch David Fincher?
Oh yeah, great
Those are
commentaries.
good.
Yeah.
Good
I
commentary.
have 2 favorite commentary tracks.
Okay.
One of them, of all time, hands down, favorite commentary track, is from a little movie called Cannibal the Musical. You guys heard about this
Trey
movie?
Parker and Matt Stone.
Yeah, Trey Parker and Matt Stone made this movie in like college or something, and they got all their buddies together and they made this like musical that's like stupid and ridiculous. It's basically like pre-South Park humor with Trey Parker and Matt Stone. And so the commentary track is them years and years and years later getting to do a DVD release of the movie, and it's amazing. They're just slowly getting drunk throughout the entire commentary track, and towards the end of the movie, they're so plastered that Trey Parker is like talking shit about his ex-girlfriend in the movie and stuff, and he's like, it's like insane, and they're like crying and yelling at each other about shit. So there's that funny fucking commentary. If you get a chance to check it out, definitely check it out. And then the other one is Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah, Terry Gilliam.
There's a commentary track that has, and there's like, I think there's 3 commentary tracks on there. One has Terry Gilliam and the producer or something, and then one actually has
Hunter S.
Depp?
Thompson.
Hunter S. Thompson. It's Hunter S. Thompson and like his publicist or something, and they're watching the movie, and he's making commentary throughout the entire film, and he's batshit insane, and I fucking love it.
Yeah.
It's
Sounds
like
great.
That sounds
the
really
best. Like at one point, he's just like, you know, Tobey Maguire's in the movie, right?
Yeah.
He's like in a cameo.
He's in the
scene
beginning. He's in the bat
in the
scene.
car, yeah, and Hunter Thompson's like, this fucking boy, yeah, he looks like a wax figure. He's just such a weird. Man, he's sweating. I don't like him. I didn't like that boy. Anyway, this scene, this is bullshit. It didn't really happen. It's amazing. The best shit ever.
Can we please do that all together? Can we get together and listen?
That
slash
sounds
watch?
Yeah,
great.
let's do
Yes.
it.
That sounds incredible.
It's so good.
Like a good afternoon.
Yeah.
You should do, Bree, you were saying you'd love to do, that's like your dream to do
Yeah.
commentary. You should wait till this video comes out and then do it on
Do
this
commentary
podcast.
on this
video.
podcast.
Here's where we were talking about, this, I guess.
See, now
So
this is
before
a
this
reference to
episode-
a bit that they did for 20 straight minutes before the show started. And
Yeah,
I wanted
called
to throttle
Real
them.
Boys.
Oh yeah,
Called
you
Lee
guys don't
Boys.
even know about that.
We're getting
You know
into
what?
the Lee Boy section.
I've got one better. If you listeners haven't seen Bree's Sansa vlogs on
Yes.
SourceFed Nerd, where she does a great Sansa Stark impression, and they're all very
Subscribe
funny.
us.
And Bree writes all those, by the way, which you guys should know that. But what we should do is we should compile all of those into like a DVD or something, and then you can do commentary over that. That way, it's a little more content. Why not?
I like the
Have
one
fun with
with Owen. That was my favorite.
Yeah, that's the best.
That one's really
Owen
good.
did not want to do it at all. And he was such a trooper, and he was so good.
He was
Yeah.
so good.
So here's the
Amazing
thing about
job.
Owen really quick. Owen I love to death. He's like my best friend. I've known him for years and years and years.
Is there a
But
butt? There is a butt.
No, there's not a but. I was gonna say but all I'm gonna say is he hates being on camera. And for the first time, it's weird because you work with a lot of people in this industry who, if they're an editor or if they're like, helping on the set, they see how much fun we have. And the next thing you know, they're like, how do I get on camera and how do I do that? Like, I want to do host things and I want to be on Table Talk and I want to do the podcast and stuff like that. Owen is the only person I've ever worked with who is good at his job and knows it and stays there. But he's also great on camera. He is.
Well, that's
but-
the thing. He's so funny, smart, and he has a very clear point of view. He's very fun to watch.
Yes, yeah, and he's a funny guy. And anytime he shows up in the videos, which he's seriously like the Sasquatch, you barely ever see him in any videos, but when you do, the audience loves him because he's just so opinionated and grumpy and just kind of like he's got his own personality that I love so much.
Yeah.
He's a fully formed character.
He is.
Yeah. This is kind of like circling back, but Mike, the movie you were talking about,
Trucks.
not the seminal 1971 Universal classic Trucks starring Peter O'Toole.
I hope Rhino Balls makes a fake Photoshop poster for Trucks.
I don't think he likes
Trucks
going
is
by
my-
Rhino Balls anymore. I
Oh,
think
Ryan?
He's just Ryan.
Okay, well I know him as Rhino Balls.
Okay.
Trucks is my favorite
We
Randy
like
Newman
Ryan.
We like Ryan. Ryan.
movie. I'll say that right
I
now.
love finding out. I never want anyone to be sad or be sad that they're acting in a movie. But whenever I find out that people were miserable on the set of a movie, it's always fascinating to me. Like I listened to the episode of How Did This Get Made about the movie Deck the Halls.
Oh,
and
God.
they talk about
Arnold Schwarzenegger?
no Matthew Broderick and Danny DeVito.
Oh, okay.
In like 2006.
God, I
and
can't even
apparently
remember it.
Matthew Broderick was so depressed on the set of that movie, he just kept saying to himself, "This is it. This is the
What?
bottom. You've reached the bottom." Like he's just like that despondent. And I want to know everything about those kinds of movies. The movies that no one wanted to be involved with, but
Yeah.
they're still happening.
That'd be great to have like a documentary about it.
Yeah.
About people that but it'll never happen because there's so many studios that are protecting their films.
Sure.
I think the most notorious one is from probably arguably one of the best movies, at least in the top 100 greatest movies of all time, Kubrick's The Shining.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard the stories of what's her name, Duvall,
Shelley Duvall.
How
Duvall.
he tortured her.
Yeah, and how
Yeah.
Kubrick basically tortured her on
To
the
get
set
that performance
to
out of
get
her.
that performance. Yeah, and I think there's interviews with her where she's like, "He's so mean to me, and I hate him." But then later on in her career, she talks about how like it was necessary for the character and how she'll never forget how that was like an amazing way to direct somebody to get a performance out of someone.
She's completely traumatized.
I mean,
but other
she-
than that,
but
it was
she-
great. She has like PTSD from The
Right.
Shining.
but she says
But
she
the
wouldn't
movie,
change.
But the
though.
movie was life changing.
I did it for the art. The art made it okay.
Yeah.
I can never act seriously, I don't think, because of that. Actors put themselves in such a space where, like, that Deck the Halls, I'm guessing that was a Christmas film.
Yes.
And you're just,
What
like,
made
utterly
you?
depressed.
What clued that in for you?
It's just a hot guess. And then, like, to be there and then to be all like, it's Christmas time.
Especially if you're Jewish. Oh, man.
Exactly.
How are you supposed to act happy
This is the
when
bottom.
you're a Jew?
I don't know.
I can
Check
say
your
that.
bank
It's
account.
fine. It's fine. I can say
Check your bank account if you're Matthew Broderick. Like that's what would keep you happy.
Oh, wait, I'm
Fair
a
enough.
millionaire. No, I get, Christmas.
Well, when you've been a millionaire most of your life, you're not going to get any joy from it anymore at some point.
That's
You
true,
just
but
go
like
buy
you got,
stuff.
at that point you should think about people who are, suffering.
Right.
But also, like sometimes depression is
No, that's true.
is
That's
is
true.
a thing.
That's true.
Is a very real, very sad thing.
Yeah.
And
Sometimes.
depression doesn't care if you're rich or poor.
That's true.
That's true.
What a jerk depression is.
Yeah.
Can I say something
Dick.
else? And I'll
Please.
keep this as short as possible because I'm the only person who wants to say or hear this. But I love hearing behind the scenes and if there ever is commentary on wrestling matches.
That's cool.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, I hate to spoil the illusion for everyone. Wrestling is predetermined. It's a performance. They know who's going to win beforehand,
Yeah.
all this stuff. And not some of the time, all the
of the
time,
time.
those guys don't like each other at all. But they're in there doing this performance where they have to literally save each other's lives every 5 seconds and, like, take each other's lives into each other's hands.
Trust each other.
Right, keep them safe. And like when you hear these stories about how like, yeah, then I was going over here and this guy's just a piece of shit and whatever, and like they're beating each other up and trying to keep each other protected, but not really, and hurting each other any chance that they can get because like it's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
I have a question really quick. Is it known that wrestling is it
Oh,
a
yeah, yeah, yeah.
controversy
Oh, yeah.
For
at all?
years- No, not anymore.
Not anymore.
No, they talk about it now. They're like trickling into.
And most fans are very aware of it, but still love it anyway.
Because
Yeah.
I remember a time in my high school days where it was like, yeah, that's definitely fake, and then people would be like, no, it's not. It's real.
Well,
Yeah.
it's like a rite of passage for every young wrestling fan. But like, I have two friends who were both WWE writers for a while, and they have the craziest stories.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a really weird, nutty world. With
I was
a lot
talked
of big
out of that job
personalities.
before moving to Los Angeles.
wow, being
Really?
a writer? How did you? But
That's like all I wanted to do, and
Was
I
write
had
for wrestling.
Yeah, and we had me and my fiance, we had our plan set. We're like in October, we're moving to LA, and then I had a meeting with my friend who works at WWE, and I was like, I won't move if you think there's any chance I can get this job, and he's like, don't do it, and
Yeah.
I'm like, well, see you later.
Wow.
But yeah, if you want to see any of that like crazy, mind-blowing, behind-the-scenes crazy stories, there's a documentary called Wrestling with Shadows about Vince McMahon and Bret Hart, who's a wrestler from
Oh, yeah.
Canada, and it's like crazy fascinating. That's it. My wrestling is done now.
cool, man.
Dang.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with wrestling.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong
Tell
with
that to
wrestling.
everyone I've spoken to for 30 years.
It sucks. Wrestling does have this stigma that, like, it's just this, like, oh, it's super machismo, and it's like,
And it hates women, but there's a
Yeah.
lot of actual evidence of
And there's-
that.
Right.
Not anymore, though. It's like
It's
the thing.
nowhere near as bad as it used to.
No,
be.
no, no. It used to be really horrible. And
Horrible.
I've gone back and I've watched everything as like a man, and it is bad.
I remember
It's
when I
so
watched
bad.
the WWE Divas, it was shamelessly like they were not given any characterization whatsoever.
No.
Like, Lita, her whole characterization was just that she was like the girlfriend to what appeared to be brothers.
Well, she was actually. Please don't get me started because I'll talk about this for the rest of the time. But
Sure.
she was like one of the ones who started breaking the mold because she could do stuff that the guys couldn't do.
Yeah.
And they call when you come out and you get cheered for a pop. She was getting bigger pops by like the peak of her career than any of the wrestlers were because she
That's
would do
awesome.
the craziest, most athletic stuff.
Did you ever watch wrestling, Brie?
No.
Sorry.
But I would. No, it's still fascinating, and I would wrestle with my sister.
Yeah.
It wasn't fake. She would beat the shit out of me.
No, that's just called fighting.
That's called fighting. No.
It's called fighting.
Yeah, no. She was.
What was that, slime?
I get mistaken for someone who watched wrestling and was a wrestling fan. Do you know what I'm talking about, Mike?
Yeah.
Not a wrestler, but a wrestling fan.
No. The people would assume that you watch
It's
wrestling.
real.
Yeah.
Like
The
I got
struggle's
that
real.
all the time. People would come
Why?
over to me and be like, "Oh, you look like a wrestling fan." It's like, "Why? Why?"
Because you look like a nerd.
And that was the thing I found out is that there is this intense nerddom for wrestling.
Totally.
And I respect it because it is, again, good stories and athleticism. And,
Sometimes
and
good stories.
well, sometimes good stories, but always amazing athleticism that I
Sometimes
can't
just
pull off.
crazy drugs.
And sometimes crazy drugs. And also, come on, man. Props to Macho Man Randy Savage, who's quite possibly the greatest entertainer of our time.
Disagree.
I said possibly.
Name one entertainer in our time.
Sidney
Richard
Poitier.
Simmons.
Name
Hugh
two.
Hugh Jackman.
But have you seen?
Loves wrestling.
Have you-
Hugh Jackman loves
He loves
wrestling.
wrestling?
That's
Cool.
real.
Yeah.
100%.
I don't know if you guys have
happening
seen
here.
the Macho Man Randy Savage videos of yore, the ones
Yeah.
from like the
like
early
his
80s.
like his
where
old
he's-
promos.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
when they used
some.
to be improv.
Yeah.
That is some of the greatest improvisation I have ever seen. That's like the best comedy online right now.
I don't know if that's true. That might
well,
be an
you know, okay,
overstatement.
fine.
Name a
Marx
comedian.
Marx
Have you
Brothers.
seen The Hills?
But I'm
Rest
just
my
saying, I
case.
saw Hugh Jackman in a musical, okay? I saw him in this musical called The Boy from Oz. It's a terrible musical, but he single-handedly made it one of the most awesome shows I've ever seen
Yeah.
because throughout the show, he keeps breaking the fourth wall and talking to the audience, and it's all riffing. It's all improv. And he single-handedly made this nigh unwatchable musical an incredibly entertaining
That's
show.
awesome.
Well, that's
He's
cool.
So
And I
good. He's so much energy.
Did he suplex anyone the whole time?
No, he did a whole bunch of like dance moves off the top of his head and like choreographed a crazy dance. on
Yeah,
stage
Like
but-
Linda
live.
Belcher. That's a Linda Belcher thing.
Yeah,
to do.
but
Yeah.
Leibs, how much can he bench? Let's put that on the table.
I have no idea. When he's
How much can
when
you
he's
bench?
Wolverining, I bet he can bench a whole lot.
I can sit on the bench pretty well.
Oh, good.
That's how I bench.
Somebody take a picture.
Yeah, but no, I mean Macho Man. Come on, like right? Like, am I
Oh,
the
yeah.
only one that?
No, I have a lot of
Probably.
love for Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah.
I love
I like his
his
name.
He's
cartoon
a
work.
maniac. Dude,
No,
he's a
and not
maniac.
Macho Man. I just like the name Randy. I think it's cute.
Yeah, my favorite thing about
You think Randy's
like
cute?
It's a cute name. It was my uncle's name.
Randy.
You think your uncle's cute?
He's dead.
Thanks a lot, Leibs.
You
Wait
think
for
your dead
bringing our
uncle's cute?
podcast down.
Yeah.
Oh man, this took a turn, didn't it?
I
What
didn't
else?
bring it
You
down.
guys ever see Trucks?
wait. My favorite thing about Macho Man, well, this is gonna sound slightly morbid too, but after he passed away,
He's dead.
Thanks a lot,
Stop.
Steve.
After he passed
wow.
away, God rest his soul, or dog, or Neil deGrasse Tyson, or whoever you worship. But there's an image, a meme going around, or there was, of Macho Man like slamming Jesus, like doing like a doing like a body slam or something.
Was there?
Yeah, and I can't remember if it was like, oh, man, I can't remember exactly what the purpose of the meme was, but it had such a funny thing.
It was memoriam was the purpose.
It was, but it was like Jesus. Now he's wrestling with Jesus or something, and Jesus
Yeah.
was like a good opponent.
I like how Jesus has time for everyone. When everyone dies,
Yeah, man.
they
I
go and they do
don't
their
think
favorite
he
thing
does.
with Jesus for a little
well,
while.
Macho Man's famous.
Well, that's where we differ.
Yeah.
All right.
no, Jesus wants to meet the famous ones, just like we do.
Right, he's like,
Yeah.
hey, can you make it out to Jesus? Real quick.
Can you make it out to?
He has like one of
Our
his
Lord
old
and Savior?
figures, old wrestling
Yeah.
figures from the 80s.
Yeah.
Just make it just to JC.
Dude,
or
I
whatever.
created every WrestleMania. I made sure that every WrestleMania happened by creating the planet. Come on, just give me one picture.
Yeah.
he still kind of looks up to him a little bit
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
Speaking of Jesus, what are your guys' favorite movie genres? Anyone?
Oh,
That's
man.
easy.
Is it?
For me,
Go for it.
comedy.
Really?
Comedy is my favorite genre. Yeah.
What are some of your favorite comedies?
Airplane, the Naked Gun movies,
Anything with Leslie Nielsen. in it.
anything with Leslie Nielsen, God bless. And also,
God rest his beautiful.
God rest his
soul.
beautiful fake fart sounding soul. He used to carry around a fart machine to all of his talk show interviews, and he would like let it go. He would like
He's just a walking
continually-
dad joke.
He was, and I loved him so much. Never got to meet him, sadly. Of recent years, I would say I love a lot of the Apatow stuff. I liked my This Is the End. I thought that was really good, and a lot of old school Marx Brothers movies.
Yeah,
Right
the
on.
coconuts. Duck
Yeah.
soup.
Duck Soup is quite possibly the greatest.
It's maybe the
comedy of all
greatest
time.
comedy of all time. Yeah.
Trucks, we're forgetting.
Yeah, Trucks. Can't forget.
No,
that.
but Trucks is an epic drama.
It is.
Oh,
And
Yeah, directed by David Lean.
I thought it was hilarious.
My my favorite thing, super quick about Duck Soup, is when Groucho comes out for the first time, and they've been trying to get him to come out. There's this whole chorus of like, here he is, finally, here he is coming out, and his first words of his songs are, "I just got here, but now I gotta go," or something like that. Like
Yeah.
I just must be going, or something. It's ridiculous, ridiculous.
yeah.
How about you?
Favorite comedy movie?
Or just any
favorite
genre.
movies.
It's
favorite
comedy.
Type of movie.
I can't. I accidentally saw a drama once going into the
I'm
theater.
so.
I didn't know that it
sorry.
was going to be so sad.
Do you need someone to talk to?
I don't remember.
Who was
this
in it?
Would make the story a lot better, dude. I don't even. I don't even. I'm not even gonna try. But I walked into a movie thinking it was like an action movie, but it was like a drama, and it just bummed me out. And then I was like, why do people pay money to get bummed out?
Well, that's how I used to feel about roller coasters. Is why would people pay money to be
To get
scared?
so sad.
Yeah.
on a roller coaster.
Yeah, that's how I felt about
But
horror
yeah,
movies
no,
too.
same.
The
same.
movie you thought was going to be action but turned out to be drama was Schindler's List, wasn't it?
No, I'm not that old. I
Was
didn't see
it
Schindler's List in the
Lord
theaters.
of War.
What was it? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
He
I
doesn't
wish
remember
I.
anything.
As
Was
soon
it
as
I
this
Am
is over, I'm gonna
Robot?
be like, oh, it was that one. But
I
don't wanna
am Robot.
spend the rest of the time being like,
I
I Am
don't-
Legend. and I Robot.
6 movies. In
What
a
about
row.
What's your favorite
you,
comedy?
Bree?
Well, I
Oh.
want to know what his favorite comedy is.
Right now, it used to always be hands down PCU. Now it's kind of a tie between PCU and Wet Hot American Summer. It's so good.
See the promo for the new series?
Yes, and
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Bree? Favorite type of movies, favorite genre movies, and then favorite comedy?
My favorite genre is thriller. And I also like foreign films,
Mm.
mostly foreign drama.
Oui.
Sorry, Mike.
Hey, that's
I-
okay.
I-
What are you
I-
apologizing to me for?
I'm not sorry that I like it.
Don't
I'm
insult that
sorry
guy.
that you have to hear that people like drama.
Dude, I talked to you about wrestling for like 5 minutes.
That's
You
true.
can talk about whatever you
What's your
want.
favorite thriller?
My favorite thriller. That's a great question.
Thriller by
I
Michael
mean,
Jackson.
Yeah, Thriller by Michael Jackson.
The Game with Michael Douglas.
I love that movie.
It's a great movie.
It's a really
That's
good movie.
my shit. Like that's what I'm into. Stuff like that.
7.
I like Seven. I like anything with Liam Neeson.
Sure.
I like Taken.
Do you like
I would
that?
consider that a thriller.
What's the one where he's in the gray or something?
The
Is
Grey.
it
With the wolf
The wolf,
punching?
Yeah,
yeah.
you like the gray?
That's a good one.
Never saw that one.
That's
actually.
one I thought was an action movie, but turned out to be more of a drama.
Mm.
Gray
Is the
Wolf.
Gray.
The Gray.
The Gray.
What would you call Fight Club?
Fight Club is a drama.
I would
drama?
call it an action.
Nah.
But it's not an
It
action
has
movie.
everything, you guys.
Yeah. It-
Psychological thriller.
Psychological thriller, maybe.
yeah, maybe a psychological thriller.
Those are my faves. I also I like comedy too, and I like a lot of independent films. That's like its own genre.
What's your favorite
Which-
foreign film?
my favorite foreign film? Daisies.
Yeah, I just
Daisies
saw
is
that.
so
That movie's
good.
great.
I
It's a wacky film.
like Man Bites Dog, which is one of the
Ooh,
first
wow.
mockumentaries.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's about a serial killer who
Mm-hmm.
just he goes around killing people on camera and is just like super happy about it. He's telling jokes all day long. It's super funny. It's like I think it's French.
It's really dark.
super dark.
Yeah.
Favorite comedy?
Favorite comedy.
Boogie Nights.
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah.
That's
So
a movie
good.
that starts as a comedy, becomes a drama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Man,
Real
that
quick.
scene with Mark Wahlberg and it also has what's his name?
Alfred Molina.
Alfred Molina.
Yeah. I
And,
know.
oh
and
my
the little kid
God.
throwing the
firecrackers. Oh my God.
It's so good.
That's it. Like I think we've talked about this before, but really quick, we talk about how like some of the best movies have like tiny little short films in them
Mm-hmm.
that can be standalone, like movies that don't have to be associated with the film you're actually watching. You can watch them out of context and still enjoy them. And that scene in Boogie Nights is one of the best short films. It's just so wacky and ridiculous. There's so much going on in that scene, but I love it so much. Good choice of music, too.
If they could make separate movies out of Boogie Nights, or if they could take characters and make their own movies, I would love an Amber Waves Roller Girl movie.
Oh, that'd be
Because
great.
when they're on the bed and she's
she's
like,
like,
"Are you my mom?" and like
Yeah.
that whole
You're
thing,
my
I'm like,
daughter.
yes, I want to see their movie. And even William H. Macy, I want to see
Aw.
his movie because oh my God, so
Yeah,
sad.
So
Yeah.
sad.
So good.
He's such a brilliant actor.
So
I like thrillers in the way that they work out your brain, or any movie that really like works
Yeah.
out your brain. When
Yeah.
you leave and you think just differently because you didn't know that thinking that way was possible.
We
Yeah.
call them thinkers in the dirty South.
Thinkers.
Yeah.
I like thinkers.
I like Trucks.
Trucks was kind of a thinker.
Trucks was kind of a
Lieberman,
thinker.
what's
Yeah.
your favorite Jean Gonry?
They're not like real Gonries. Not-
Michelle Gonry?
Lee
Yeah,
Gonries?
not real Gonries. But for me, it's I love heist movies. I love heist movies, and I love any movie with time travel. If it has time travel, I will
Yeah.
watch it.
Cool.
The
The
Last Airbender.
Last
But that's like-
Airbender is
yeah, that's-
not a
that's
time
going-
I
travel,
don't know what that
and
is.
it is not a mystery.
Would you consider the Great Muppet Caper a heist movie?
I would consider that a heist
Yeah.
movie. Yeah. No, I love a good heist movie.
What's
My
your favorite heist?
My
movie?
favorite heist movie? That's really difficult to
Oceans
decide.
and stuff.
The Ocean's 11 is really
They're
really
fun.
great.
They're fun movies.
Really fun. I love one that most people haven't seen is The Bank Job with Jason Statham. Great little British movie. I also have a big just love on for The Italian Job. I think The Italian Job is so much fun.
Hey, Mike,
Dude, I have one comment.
real quick.
Yeah.
You ever gotten a bank job before?
No, I don't have much money.
It costs a lot.
Yeah.
It costs a whole bank.
I like heist movies because you're always like,
Thank you, Bree. Thank you for being the only person who
sorry.
responded. Go
what,
ahead.
What did you? Can you explain the joke over
He
again?
just said it costs the whole bank.
It's good.
You said I don't have money. That costs
That's very good.
Let's finish your thought.
I don't
Sorry.
get it.
I like in heist movies where you're like, how are they gonna do this? But
Yeah.
you know they are because it's a movie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? But you're totally like 45 minutes in, you're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how
So
you
good.
guys got to figure it out because I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope you guys figure it out.
my favorite comedies. I have like maybe three favorites, and they're all time travel movies. And it's Groundhog Day. Groundhog
Oh,
Day and Back to the
yeah.
Future to me are the two best pop screenplays ever written.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. And then I'll also throw Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure into that mix.
Love
Sure.
Bogus Journey,
But
though. I feel like
Bogus Journey-
arguably
I
Bogus
saw
Journey
that
is better than
first.
Excellent Adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Production-wise,
Yeah.
for sure.
I would agree with you on a lot of levels, but the sequence when they're breaking into the police station to me is still that is the best sequence about the comedy of time travel ever.
Yeah.
When they're like, no, we'll just remember to come back and do it later,
Right.
and then it'll be here, and then things just keep working out for
Yeah.
them. That to me is just so good.
I just love that mall scene, man.
Yeah,
That
the mall scene's really
I'll never
funny,
forget
too.
that mall scene.
I loved that movie as a kid. What's your favorite kids movie?
Have you seen it as an adult?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have. Still
Holds
good.
up for
Holds
you?
up
think?
to me.
Okay.
Holds
What
up
about
for
the
me.
Wayne's World
It's
movies?
fun. I actually haven't seen Wayne's World as an adult, but I
Oh,
used to
okay.
love it.
One
when I
and
was
two
teen.
both hold
A
up. I
young
feel like
teen.
I would categorize. I would like to lump in a film festival that has like Wayne's World 1 and 2, Bill and Ted 1 and 2,
Tommy Boy and Black Sheep.
Tommy
love
Boy and Black
Tommy
Sheep.
Boy.
Why not? Oh no, I lost it. I had a perfect film to kind of go with Wayne's World 1 and 2.
When
and
you
I-
think of that, what was your favorite kids movie?
Like as a kid
a
or your
kid.
favorite kids movie now?
Oh, my favorite movie as
no,
a
as
kid.
a kid.
Favorite movie as a kid.
I
Had to
know
be
it.
Trucks.
Had
to be.
Hands down.
Sato's not funny anymore.
What about you, Steve?
It probably Little Shop of Horrors.
Mm-hmm.
I watched that movie so much as a kid, over and over and over. I ruined the VHS tape.
Yeah.
I watched the Brady Bunch parody movie.
That's one. That's
Those
what
were
I
my
was trying to
favorites.
remake, yeah.
The
So-
like just like the very Brady movie and very
Yes.
Brady sequel.
Yeah, so how about this? Wayne's World 1 and 2, the Brady Bunch movies 1 and 2, and
What?
Adam's Family
shit,
Values.
I lost it
Oh,
again.
Adam's
gotta be
Family.
That's it. The Addams Family movies. That's it. The Addams
Okay.
Family
So
movies.
All right.
good.
Boom.
Okay.
I have
Those
the
are so
weirdest
good.
lingering childhood memory from the very Brady movies.
Yeah.
The girl who played Marcia, she's married to
Christine
Ben Stiller.
Taylor.
Yes. She
Oh, yeah.
I saw an interview with her like on MTV or something where she could have sworn she looked nothing like Marcia. And all
Yeah.
throughout my entire life it was like, yeah, you look exactly like Marcia. And that is like a childhood memory. I have two that has stuck with me forever. It's that and eating a whole jar of peanut butter once when I was a child. And those are the only
Did you
two
throw
things I
up?
Were you
remember.
ill?
I don't remember.
I
don't even remember that
as
far.
a kid, I ate a whole bag of pistachios, and I just remember throwing up green all night.
Oh no.
And that's
What's
one
happening?
of that's like one of the worst memories I have as a kid, and I hate pistachios.
One of my worst childhood memories is I ate some cashews that were bad. It was how we found out that my grandmom had dementia. Was because I'd eaten these cashews.
This is so much of a better
No,
story than we told.
I'd eaten these cashews and hives broke out all over my body. And that night I was supposed to stay with my aunt and uncle. I'd never stayed with them before. So they were up all night trying to take care of me. I was so miserable and disgusting. I looked like which one of Bebop and Rocksteady is the turtley one?
The
Or no,
turtle
one's-
there was
one's
a
a
hog.
pig.
Are you thinking about Toka and Razor?
Tucka and Razor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
okay.
Razor was the wolf, and
Okay.
Toka was
Toka.
the turtle.
You guys
I looked like
literally just
Toka.
spoke Japanese to me.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. So it turns out she had left these cashews out in a dish for a full year.
Holy.
Is that bad?
Do
Yes.
cashews go bad?
Yes, cashews go bad apparently.
Did not know that.
Yeah, they go bad and they give you hives. And I
Yikes.
thought I was allergic to cashews for 6 years.
Oh, cashews are so good.
Yeah, they
They're
are.
delicious. That cashew butter. What was that? What was the last question? It was your favorite kids movie. Favorite kids movies, and we'll wrap up.
Three Ninjas was good.
The
You guys-
Kickback
Oh,
or
that's
just
good.
the Three Ninjas?
Three
Or Monster
Ninja,
Island?
the
or
first one. No, first one, and then Three Ninjas Strike Back, and then
Kickback.
High.
Kickback.
I think it was Strike Back.
Kickback.
Well, Strike Back's the Empire one.
Sure. And then the third one was High Noon at Mega Mountain.
There it is. That's what I was
I
thinking.
think it was The Empire Kicks Back is what you're thinking. And it was about the corruption financially within the system.
I like the first one because I like
Three
the
Ninjas.
I like the pizza dudes. They get the Fester. What's his name? Lester and
Uncle
whatever.
Fester. Yeah.
No,
the
no,
pizza dude.
stop.
Christopher
No, his
Lloyd.
name is Lester.
All right.
Whatever.
I haven't
Whatever.
seen it.
What? That's so dismissive.
Other favorite.
All right.
Mike, your favorite movie when you were a child?
The two movies I watched the most as a kid were Beetlejuice. It was the first time I heard the word fuck, and Ghostbusters 2 with who was the main villain in that?
That was
Vigo.
the
Vigo.
Yes,
Carpenter.
Vigo.
Yeah.
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 Those are the
both-
two
both
VHS
great
tapes that I
movies.
destroyed.
Did you already say yours, Bree?
Yay.
Okay, and Steve, you already said yours?
Yes.
Yeah, mine's boring. It's Mulan. I loved Mulan. Thought Mulan was
Great
awesome.
film.
Boring?
Just kick-ass, awesome girl blows up a bunch of Huns with a firecracker. That was great. Yeah,
Fucking Mushu.
that and Grease. I love both of those.
Grease.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
fun.
What
All
if you
right.
can combine the two?
Grease
Mulan
meets
was a
Mulan.
pink lady.
Can
I
I
think that would be a great idea.
Yeah.
Can
They
I really
both
quick?
they both become people that they
It's
don't
the
want
last
to.
thing, Steve, because we're out of time.
It's the last thing. I just wanted to say, for some
Pregnant.
reason, you reminded me when you said Mulan. I don't know if I've told this story before, but I want to throw my brother under the bus really quick because when we were kids, we were taken to a store and we were told we could get like one thing. And I don't know, maybe it was like a birthday or something or some kind of special occasion. And so it was when these super rad-ass Nintendo watches had just come out. And do you know which ones I'm talking about?
I
Wait, the
had
Pikachu
Super
G
Mario
watch?
one.
No, I'm talking about that. There was like a Legend of Zelda one, and there was a Super Mario Brothers one, and there was like a Donkey Kong, I
Oh,
think.
wow.
Later on, there was
They're
like a
like little
Star Fox
tiger
one.
games.
Yeah, they're like little games you could play on your wrist. And so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get one of those. And I got the Star Fox one, and my brother was gonna get Legend of Zelda, and I was like, hell yeah! And instead of that, he got the Little Mermaid soundtrack, and I will never forget that is
A
probably
sharp left turn.
Yeah.
total sharp left turn, and I'll never forget that instead of getting one of the coolest watches ever,
He got a soundtrack that he still listens to this day
Well,
with
we don't
far
know that.
more replay value.
Steve, I found it on vinyl. Finally.
Perfect.
well, you can get the Little Mermaid soundtrack, no problem, but finding that Zelda watch, good luck.
Yeah, but
You're paying upwards
that
$750
Zelda
on
watch
eBay.
wouldn't work anymore.
You don't know that. That's Nintendo, man.
Maybe.
That's Japanese.
They had the little batteries that lasted forever.
Hell yeah.
Quartz, I think they're
I
called.
wouldn't know.
Okay, quartz batteries.
Yeah,
Guys, I
son.
want to thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the SourceFed podcast. If you want to continue to support us and everything that we do, you should go to iTunes, rate and review the show. It really helps us out. It's how we get great sponsors like Squarespace. Go to squarespace.com/SF, enter the code SF for 10% off your order. I am Matt Lieberman.
I'm Brie Estrig.
I'm Steve Zaragoza.
I'm Michael Falzone
Thank you so much, Mike, for joining us. And where can the people find you on Twitter if they haven't already?
at Mike Falzone.
Perfect. All right, thank you guys so much. We'll see you next Friday. Bye-bye.
This is SourceFed.
Okay, and I'm still afraid of the dark a little bit.
I know that's true.